He was a powerful businessman known for wealth, sharp suits, and a cold heart. During an important evening at his grand home, many rich guests gathered to eat and talk. Everything had to be perfect. One guest frowned after tasting a meal and whispered displeasure. That single moment changed a life. Without asking questions or listening to explanations, the owner made a harsh choice. His calm kitchen leader was removed instantly, judged without mercy, treated like nothing. The woman said nothing. She slowly untied her work cloth, placed it neatly on the counter, and walked away. No tears. No defense. No anger. The huge house swallowed her silence as if she never existed. Staff continued their duties, pretending not to notice. The man felt powerful, believing authority meant control over people's futures. Time passed. Plates kept arriving at his table, prepared by others. Yet something was missing. Food filled his mouth but not his heart. Each bite felt dull. He blamed spices, cooks, even suppliers, yet dissatisfaction followed every meal. For the first time, confusion replaced pride. One evening, while searching for answers, a worker discovered an old container hidden behind others. Inside was a dish made earlier untouched. Out of curiosity, it was warmed and served. The moment flavor touched his tongue, everything changed. Warmth, memories, childhood moments, and forgotten feelings rushed back. His chest tightened. He had not tasted food like this in years. Anger turned into questions. Who created this? Why was such skill gone? The truth surfaced slowly. The quiet woman once stood on world stages, praised for talent. Fame disappeared after deep personal loss. Cooking became her way to heal, not to shine. Shame settled in. He understood his mistake. He had thrown away more than a worker. He had erased history, culture, and emotion from his table. Money suddenly felt small. Determined to fix things, he searched for her himself. Far from luxury, he found a tiny place by the road. Simple tables. Honest smiles. She cooked for everyday people with care and peace. He offered wealth, status, and apology. She listened kindly then refused. Respect, she explained, must come before gold. Power means nothing without humanity. The man left changed, carrying a lesson heavier than any loss he had faced before. Chef Nayeli Sambana removes her apron without begging, leaving the mansion kitchen unnoticed. She does not look back, does not explain herself, and does not ask for another chance. Her steps are slow but steady as she walks past shining floors and quiet hallways. No one stops her. No one thanks her. It is as if her years of effort vanish the moment she steps outside the gate. Days move on inside the grand house. New cooks prepare expensive meals, using rare ingredients and perfect tools. Yet something feels wrong. The man who owns everything sits at his table and eats in silence. The food looks beautiful, but the taste feels flat. Each dish fills his stomach, but leaves his heart empty. He grows irritated, blaming everyone around him, unaware of what is truly missing. One afternoon, a worker cleaning the staff fridge notices a forgotten container at the back. Curious, they open it and smell something warm and familiar. The dish is served without much thought. When the first bite touches the owner's tongue, he freezes. The flavor feels alive. Memories he buried long ago rise suddenly. He remembers home, family laughter, and times when food meant comfort instead of status. Shaken, he demands answers. Who made this? Why has this feeling been absent for so long? Slowly, the truth comes out. The quiet woman he dismissed carried a deep story. She was once celebrated for her skills, admired across many places. Then loss struck her family, breaking her world. She stepped away from the spotlight and chose silence, using cooking as a way to survive pain rather than chase praise. Regret settles heavily on him. He understands too late that he did not remove an employee, but pushed away meaning itself. Wealth suddenly feels useless without respect. Determined to fix his mistake, he leaves his comfort behind and searches for her on his own. He finds her far from luxury, working in a small roadside spot. The place is simple, filled with ordinary people enjoying honest meals. She looks peaceful. He offers her everything he once took away: position, money, and public honor. She listens calmly, then gently refuses. She explains that dignity cannot be bought, and true strength comes from seeing people before judging them. He walks away changed, carrying a lesson no fortune could ever teach. Days later, Zorand realizes no dish satisfies him. Every meal tastes lifeless. He sits at his long table surrounded by beauty, yet nothing brings joy. Plates arrive filled with color and rare ingredients, but each bite feels empty. He chews slowly, frowns, and pushes food aside. Anger grows inside him, though he cannot explain why. He believes perfection can be ordered, yet something important is gone. He changes cooks. He demands new menus. He imports spices from faraway places. Still nothing changes. Breakfast feels heavy. Dinner feels dull. The house that once felt powerful now feels quiet and cold. Even his guests notice his silence. The man who once ruled conversations now barely speaks. Late one evening, while walking through the kitchen, he notices the staff working nervously. Fear has replaced pride. No one cooks with love, only caution. That sight unsettles him, though he refuses to admit it. He returns to his room feeling restless, unable to sleep. The next day, an old container is discovered during cleaning. It is warmed and served without thought. The moment he tastes it, his hand freezes midair. Warmth spreads through him. His chest tightens. The flavor feels real, full, and alive. Memories rush back without warning. He remembers sitting on a simple floor as a child, eating slowly while listening to stories. He remembers feeling safe. His eyes soften. Confusion replaces anger. He calls for answers, his voice no longer sharp. Staff exchange glances before speaking. They explain the food was prepared earlier, before everything changed. Silence fills the room. For the first time, Zorand reflects on his actions. He realizes power made him deaf. He judged quickly, valued praise over purpose, and ignored the human heart behind the work. The taste in his mouth is not just food, it is truth. Guilt settles in. He understands that talent without respect withers. He sees that fear kills creativity. That night he cannot eat again, not because the food is bad, but because the lesson is heavy. He decides money alone cannot repair what pride destroyed. Wearing simple clothes, he leaves his world behind and begins searching. Not as a boss, but as a man seeking understanding. When he finally finds her cooking for strangers who smile and thank her, he feels small. He makes an offer filled with numbers and promises. She listens, calm and steady, then declines. Her peace is not for sale. Zorand walks away changed, knowing some losses are meant to teach, not to be reversed. A forgotten meal sat quietly behind other containers, untouched and unnoticed for days. During a routine cleanup, someone reached deep into the cold storage space and pulled it out without thinking. The lid opened, releasing a rich smell that felt warm and familiar. Curiosity led to reheating it, not knowing it would change everything. When it was placed on Zorand's table, he expected nothing special. He had already lost interest in eating. Still, he lifted his spoon and tasted it. His body reacted before his mind could. He stopped moving. His eyes widened slightly. Something deep inside him stirred. The flavor was not loud or fancy, but full of feeling. It carried care, memory, and truth. With each bite, images from his past returned. A small home, shared meals, laughter without pressure. A time before wealth hardened him. His chest tightened as emotions he buried long ago pushed forward. This was not just food. It was comfort. It was meaning. Confused and shaken, he called for answers. His voice lacked its usual sharp edge. Workers exchanged nervous looks before explaining where it came from. Silence filled the room as understanding slowly formed. He realized this taste belonged to the woman he dismissed without listening. Regret washed over him. He remembered her quiet presence, her focus, her respect for every plate she served. He finally saw what he had thrown away. Not skill alone, but heart. Not effort alone, but soul. Power suddenly felt heavy, not impressive. That night, he could not sleep. His large house felt empty. He replayed the moment of dismissal again and again, seeing it clearly now. Pride had blinded him. One careless decision had erased something rare. The next morning, he made a choice. He would search for her himself. Not send guards. Not make calls. He wanted to face his mistake as a human being, not as a ruler of wealth. His journey led him far from luxury, to a simple place along a busy road. There she was, serving everyday people with gentle hands and calm eyes. They smiled as they ate. They thanked her sincerely. Peace surrounded her. He offered apologies, money, and position. She listened quietly, then declined. Respect, she said softly, matters more than status. He left humbled, carrying a lesson no success had ever taught him. Zoran tastes it. Memories fled back. Emotions he buried for years awaken. His hand freezes in the air as if time suddenly stops. The room around him fades. The sound of cutlery disappears. All he feels is warmth spreading through his chest, slow and heavy. The flavor is gentle, yet powerful. It does not try to impress. It simply feels real. His mind drifts to a past he rarely visits. He sees himself as a young boy, sitting close to family, eating from shared plates. There was laughter then and patience. No ruse. No pressure. Food was not about status or display. It was about togetherness. His throat tightens as the memory settles deep inside him. Another bite pulls him further back. He remembers the smell of home, the calm voice of someone who cared, the feeling of being seen. His eyes grow moist, surprising even himself. He has spent years building walls, believing feelings were weakness. Yet here they are, breaking through without permission. Confusion follows quickly. He looks at the plate as if it holds answers. How can something so simple move him like this? Why has nothing tasted this way in so long? His success suddenly feels distant, almost meaningless. He realizes he has been feeding his body but starving his heart. He calls for the staff not with anger but urgency. His voice sounds different, softer. When he hears the truth, shame creeps in. He understands that this feeling came from care, not skill alone. From intention, not price. From a person he failed to value. Silence fills the space. He stares at the table, replaying his actions. The dismissal. The cold words. The power he misused. Regret presses down on him, heavier than any loss he has known. This taste is not just food. It is a mirror. That night, sleep avoids him. He walks through his large house, noticing how empty it feels. The walls reflect his loneliness. For the first time, he admits that control without kindness creates nothing lasting. By morning, a decision is made. He will face what he did, not with authority but humility. He leaves behind comfort and pride, driven by the need to understand. When he finally sees her again, serving others with quiet joy, he feels the truth clearly. Some gifts cannot be owned. Some people cannot be bought. And some lessons only arrive when the heart is finally ready to feel. He demands to know who cooked it, and why such talent was dismissed so easily. His voice is firm, but the anger people expect does not come. Instead, there is confusion mixed with regret. The room becomes quiet. Staff members look at each other, unsure who should speak first. Fear hangs in the air, because everyone remembers how quickly lives can change in this house. Slowly, one person steps forward and explains the truth. The dish was made earlier, before everything changed. It was prepared by the quiet woman who used to work without seeking attention. She never argued. She never showed pride. She simply focused on her work. Her food carried care, not noise. As the story unfolds, Zoran listens closely. He learns that she was not just another cook. Long before entering his home, she was known across many places for her rare skill. People praised her creativity and depth. Invitations, awards, and fame once followed her everywhere. Then life broke her spirit. A painful family loss shattered her world. She walked away from public life and chose silence over applause. Cooking became her refuge. She no longer cooked to impress crowds, but to heal herself. Every meal she made carried memory, patience, and emotion. She never spoke about her past because pain taught her humility. She worked quietly, grateful for peace, never expecting recognition. Zoran feels a tightness in his chest. He remembers the moment he judged her. One complaint, one careless decision. No questions, no understanding. He realizes how easily power blinded him. He valued loud opinions over quiet excellence. He chose pride instead of fairness. The kitchen no longer feels like his kingdom. It feels like a place where a mistake was born. He looks around and sees fear instead of trust, silence instead of passion. He understands that respect cannot grow in such an environment. Regret sinks deep. He sees clearly now that talent does not shout. It waits to be seen. And when ignored, it leaves without noise. His wealth suddenly feels small compared to what he lost. Determined to face the truth, he decides to find her himself. Not to command, but to listen. not to offer power, but to apologize. For the first time, he understands that true leadership begins with humility, and some lessons arrive only after something precious is gone. Nayeli is revealed as a former culinary prodigy who abandoned fame after family tragedy. The truth shocks everyone who hears it. The quiet woman who worked without attention once stood in bright kitchens filled with cameras, judges, and applause. Her hands created meals that told stories of land, tradition, and love. People spoke her name with respect. Doors opened easily for her. Success followed wherever she went. Then life changed in a single moment. Loss entered her home and took away what mattered most. The pain was deep and silent. Crowds no longer comforted her. Praise felt empty. The joy she once felt while cooking disappeared under grief. Instead of healing, fame reminded her of everything she lost. So she walked away without explanation. She chose a different path. No stages. No awards. No spotlight. She wanted peace, not attention. Cooking became something private again. A way to survive each day. A way to remember love without speaking about it. She believed food should comfort others, not elevate her name. When she joined the mansion kitchen, she hid her past. Not out of shame, but because she no longer needed validation. She arrived early, worked quietly, and left no mess behind. She listened more than she spoke. Every plate carried patience and care. She never asked for praise because healing does not need applause. Others mistook her silence for weakness. They never guessed the depth she carried. No one asked why her food felt different. No one wondered how such emotion lived inside simple dishes. Until it was gone. When the truth comes out, regret spreads quickly. People realize they judged a book by its cover. They ignored the calm ones. They praised noise and overlooked meaning. One careless decision erased something rare. Zoran feels the weight of this truth more than anyone. He sees how easily power crushed humility, how quickly he dismissed a soul filled with history. He understands that greatness does not always announce itself. Sometimes it waits quietly, hoping to be respected. Nayeli's story becomes a mirror. It reflects how society treats pain, silence, and depth. It shows how talent can survive heartbreak, yet still choose peace over praise. She did not fail. She simply chose healing. By walking away from fame, she saved herself. By walking away from the mansion, she protected her dignity. And without raising her voice, she taught a lesson stronger than any award ever could. Zoran realizes he didn't fire a chef. He discarded a storyteller of culture and soul. The thought hits him slowly, then all at once. He sits alone, replaying every moment he ignored. The quiet steps in the kitchen. The calm eyes. The steady hands that never rushed. He finally understands that food was never just food. It was memory, history, and feeling placed gently on a plate. He remembers how guests once spoke less and ate more. How the room felt warmer without effort. He had believed it was luxury doing its job. Now he sees the truth. It was meaning. It was care shaped into flavor. And he threw it away with one careless order. Regret begins to change him. Not loud regret, but the heavy kind that settles deep. He sees how easily he trusted power instead of patience. He listened to one complaint instead of years of silent excellence. He chose noise over depth. That mistake now follows him everywhere. The mansion feels different. Bigger. Colder. Empty rooms echo his thoughts. He walks through the kitchen and notices fear where pride once lived. People cook carefully, not creatively. No joy. No risk. Only survival. He understands that respect is the soil where greatness grows, and he poisoned it. For the first time, he questions his success. What is wealth if it destroys what it touches? What is authority if it silences beauty? He sees that leadership without humanity leaves nothing lasting behind. The dishes served now fill plates, but not people. Shame does not crush him. It teaches him. He realizes that true value often moves quietly. It does not demand attention. It waits to be seen. And when ignored, it leaves without warning. This understanding pushes him to act, not as a ruler, but as a man who failed. He removes his expensive jacket. He steps outside his world of control and comfort. He decides to search, not to command, but to listen. When he finally finds her in a simple place, surrounded by ordinary faces and honest smiles, everything becomes clear. She is calm, whole, untouched by his regret. Her peace speaks louder than any words. He offers restoration, money and position. She refuses with kindness. She does not seek revenge. She seeks respect. Her choice teaches him more than loss ever did. As he walks away, he knows this lesson will stay forever. Some talents feed the stomach, others feed the soul. And the greatest mistake is not losing success, but failing to recognize meaning when it stands quietly before you. He personally tracks Nayeli down to a small roadside eatery she now runs. The streets are crowded, smells of food mixing with dust and life. Simple tables and worn chairs fill the little space. People sit quietly, smiling as they eat. The world she left behind, the mansion, wealth, and authority, feels miles away. Here she is herself, free and calm. He watches from the doorway, unsure if he should enter. She moves gracefully, serving meals with care. Her hands are steady, her eyes gentle. Each plate carries warmth, not status. Customers thank her sincerely, and she smiles without expecting applause. This is a world built on honesty, not power. For the first time, Zoran feels small in the presence of true skill and humanity. He steps forward slowly, noticing the contrast to his grand life. No guards, no assistants, no expensive surroundings. Just life in its simplest form. His chest tightens. He had once thought wealth could fix everything. But here he sees it cannot buy respect, peace, or meaning. Nayeli created these without realizing it, simply through dedication and heart. Gathering courage, he speaks. His voice is calm but full of urgency. He explains who he is, why he is here, and admits his mistake. He offers her everything he had once controlled. The mansion, a high position, and wealth beyond measure. He expects gratitude or acceptance, but instead, she listens quietly without judgment. Her silence is steady and powerful. Then she responds. She thanks him for the honesty but politely declines. Her words are soft but firm. Respect and dignity cannot be bought. True strength lies in seeing people, valuing them, and choosing integrity over gold. She has built a life she loves, and nothing he offers can replace that. Zoran feels a weight lift and settle at the same time. Humility replaces pride. He finally understands the lesson he avoided for so long. Power is empty without respect, and true talent cannot be forced or owned. Watching her serve others with joy, he realizes that life's greatest riches are not measured in money, but in the value we give to people. As he leaves the eatery, he carries this truth with him. His world is still grand, but his heart feels different, lighter, wiser, and more aware. He has lost something he cannot reclaim, but he has gained the understanding that some lessons can only be learned when humility replaces ego, and respect guides action. Nayeli refuses the job offer, teaching Zoran that respect matters more than money. He stands there, holding the papers, the keys, and the promises of wealth, expecting her to hesitate, to feel tempted. But she does not. Her face is calm, her eyes steady. She smiles gently, yet firmly shakes her head. Words are not needed. Her decision speaks louder than anything he could offer. He feels a strange mix of shock and admiration. He had thought power could change minds, that riches could fix mistakes. But here, she shows him that some things cannot be bought. Dignity, peace, and self-respect are not for sale. She has built a life on her own terms, and no amount of money can sway her from it. Zoran watches her work, serving customers with quiet joy. Each dish is made carefully, with attention and love. People laugh and enjoy their meals, thanking her sincerely. No grandeur, no luxury, just honesty and heart. He realizes that the value she creates is far greater than anything money could buy. Her world may seem small to outsiders, but it is rich in meaning, trust, and respect. He remembers the harsh decision he made earlier, firing her without thought. Shame settles over him. He understands now that he did not just lose a chef. He dismissed someone who carried culture, history, and emotion in every plate she prepared. And now he stands before her, humbled, realizing that life's greatest lessons often come from those we underestimate. Nayeli's refusal teaches him patience and humility. He sees that respect cannot be demanded or forced. It must be given, earned, and cherished. Her calm strength is a mirror to his mistakes. He learns that authority alone does not create loyalty or admiration. It is compassion, understanding, and fairness that leave a lasting impact. As he steps away from the eatery, Zoran feels changed. The world he once valued, the mansions, the wealth, the prestige, suddenly seems smaller. He carries a new understanding. Some victories are not about gaining more, but about recognizing the worth of what we already lost. Nayeli's choice reminds him that true power lies in respect, and true happiness comes from living with integrity. Walking back into his life, he feels lighter, wiser, and more aware. He cannot undo the past, but he can honor the lesson she gave him without saying a word. That money can buy many things, but it cannot buy a soul. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more amazing African tales. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a story full of lessons, drama, and inspiration.